Amen. Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome country music singer and songwriter from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Presley Barker.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed once once last gleaming, whose broad stripes sang through the great fire. O'er the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the gates the barns bursting in came proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free? The rain.
Stage is set. It's just about go time. In the Craftsman Truck Series tonight, race 100. All to saw this Friday evening. Welcome into the broadcast booth, everybody, with two drivers that have won right here. Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons. I'm Adam Alexander. When you race at Charlotte, it just means more, Michael.
It's a home game, Adam. These teams all want to get the victory for the men and women that work so hard on these trucks. And I'm going to tell you one thing that the drivers are certainly happy about. Sun has set. It was treacherous out there today. We saw guys trying to run over 180 miles an hour and their trucks just simply get away from them. Not a lot of grip, a lot of slip and slide. We have a lot of action in that short session, including this come together between Kevin Honeycutt and Christian Eckes. So with a lot of damage to that 19 truck, they took it back to the garage. They worked it over. Christian did his part, getting the toolbox up the hill. They got that thing repaired, and I think he's going to be a threat coming from the back. And Honeycutt had a really fast truck, too. Wouldn't it be interesting if those two wound up at the front tonight, racing for a win after what happened earlier today?
I think it's possible. You mentioned Christian Eckes. He's a player every week, just like Corey Heim. I mentioned earlier he won his third win of the season coming last week. Who are some other drivers beyond Honeycutt we need to keep an eye on?
Well, Adam, we're 10 races into this regular season. That means we only have 6 races left in the regular season. A couple of guys I'm a little bit worried about. Guys that were perennial championship contenders. Grant Enfinger, right now, is just a little bit above the cut line. He was actually below the cut line before he had a great runner-up finish last week at North Wilkesboro. That jumped him up above the line. Our champion from last year, and as you mentioned earlier, the winner of this race last year, Ben Rose, just barely above the cut line. He hasn't really got his season on track. He had a top 5 finish at Darlington, did not have a good finish last week at North Wilkesboro, but expect him to be good here. There's one other guy that I want to keep an eye on. You mentioned him, Michael. Caden Honeycutt. He get into that bit of an incident with Christian Eckes. No damage to that truck, but he had such a great run at Kansas. He actually has 3 top 10 finishes in 4 starts. He was contending for that win at Kansas before finishing 4th. That's a young man I'm keeping my eye on as well.
The fact that he had problems in practice, he still qualifies 9th, and he's got plenty of confidence after that performance a few weeks ago at Kansas. We're ready to roll. It's the Craftsman Truck Series at Charlotte. Stay with us. We're green next on FS1.
All right, now time for my introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's coverage of the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The next race of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on Memorial Day weekend is about to take place. We are just 6 races out from the playoffs beginning already for the Truck Series. 5, of course, on the checkered flag flies here tonight. And for this race, we'll take a look at the starting lineup before getting into an even more in-depth dive of the point standings, as you heard a little bit of that from the Fox Sports 1 booth. Tanner Gray on the pole for this one here today. My pick, Corey Heim, will be starting in the second place position as Heim tries to go for his third win of the season. He's the winner of the most recent mile-and-a-half track at Kansas. Ty Majeski and Raja Caruth will line up in row 2. Majeski still searching for win 1 on the season, but Caruth has a win also on a mile-and-a-half back at Vegas earlier this spring. Lane Riggs and Chase Purdy will line up in row 3, each looking for their first career truck wins. Connor Mosack in the 7 tonight for Spire Motorsports will be on the inside of row 4 with Jack Wood to his outside. Caden Honeycutt and Bailey Curry in row 5. Honeycutt going to be starting deep in the field after qualifying top 10, and as you heard there from Michael Waltrip, 3 top 10 finishes in 4 starts this season for Honeycutt. Dean Thompson and Stuart Friesen will line up in row number 6. Row number 7 for Ben Rhodes and Taylor Gray. Rhodes, of course, one of those playoff bubble drivers as well as Taylor Gray. Matt Mills and Nick Sanchez in row number 8 for this one. Sanchez locked into the playoffs with a win in the season opener at Daytona. Grant Enfinger and Jake Garcia will line up in row 9. And former truck champion Brett Moffitt on the inside of another former truck champion Ty Dillon in row 10. Wallace Allen and Matt Crafton will line up in row number 11. Stephen Parsons, Mason Maggio in row 12. Connor Jones, Timmy Hill in row 13. Brett Holmes, Memphis Villarreal in row 14. And in row 15, rounding out the top 30 is Mason Massey and Spencer Boyd. Jeffrey Earnhardt making his first truck start of the season on the inside of row 16 with Thad Moffitt to his outside. Keith McGee and Tyler Ankrum starting deep in the field in row 17, and rounding out the field in row 18 is Christian Eckes and Daniel Dye. Repairs made to the Eckes Chevrolet after a crash in practice with Honeycutt earlier this afternoon. Greatly appreciate everybody tuning in, though, here in this one. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Our goal is to get to 100 per usual for these Truck Series streams. And also, hit the subscribe button if you guys have not done so yet, as we are not only moments away from the start of this race, but moments away from starting the weekend with the live commentary streams. Our next stream will be the Xfinity Series race tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. And as far as the rest of the schedule, the NASCAR Cup Series will be on track tomorrow for their Coke 600 weekend at 5 p.m. Eastern Time after the Xfinity race. They will go live for practice and qualifying. We'll be right here for the coverage on that. And of course, the doubleheader Sunday afternoon. We've got the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600, both being live commentary right here on the channel. So definitely a big weekend, the biggest weekend in American motorsports. And you can just tune in right here on the channel for all of that live flag-to-flag coverage. For visuals as far as today's race, if you're looking for more than just my audio, you'll listen to tonight's race on Fox Sports 1. The Xfinity race as well as Cup practice and qualifying tomorrow also on Fox Sports 1. And the Indy 500 will be on NBC and Peacock on Sunday and on your local Fox affiliate for the Coke 600. So that is going to be all the networks, I guess, that you can watch this weekend's action. Only 2 wins on short tracks. Each have 9 top 10 finishes on the season, which means that they've both just finished outside the top 10 just one time this year. Corey Heim with 2 more top 5s, but more stage points for Eckes is the reason why Eckes is out in front. And Corey Heim does have 1 more stage win than Christian Eckes, but again, overall in stage points, that's where Eckes has the advantage. Eckes has also led almost twice as many laps with 425 laps led to Corey Heim's 271. 203 for Ty Majeski. He's the highest running in the point standings without a win this season. The drivers locked in with the win would include, as I mentioned, Eckes and Heim already with 2 and 3. Nick Sanchez with 1 win as well as Raja Caruth. Only other winners in the Truck Series have been non-Truck Series regulars, so still 6 playoff spots available with 6 races to go in the regular season. So unless we get 6 different winners in these final 6 races, we will have drivers locking themselves in on points over the next several weeks. Other drivers at the top of the point standings, I mentioned Majeski is 3rd overall. Taylor Gray is 5th overall in the point standings. Tyler Ankrum 6th. Raja Caruth with his win in 7th. The bubble drivers as of right now, Tanner Gray is the final driver above the cutoff line. He's only 2 points to the good on Matt Crafton. Currently sitting just ahead of him in points is Ben Rose. Rose is only 4 points to the good over his teammate. And Grant Enfinger is only 6 points to the good. So again, 6 points separates 8th through 11th in the point standings. That's how tight it is there. And even Daniel Dye, who's 12th in points, and has had Ray around him in the point standings, and actually more than both Ben Rhodes and Grant Enfinger as well. Daniel Dye comes into tonight's race just 15 points out of that final cutoff spot. 17, excuse me. Did my math wrong there. 17 points out of the final spot. Stuart Friesen 13th in points, even really not that much further behind. There, just 30 points back. A big deficit has been cut by Friesen after last week's first top 10 of the season. He got some stage points on pit strategy as well earlier in that race. So that is the update on the overall point standings coming into tonight's action. Again, like, comment, subscribe, so we're just moments away from the drop of the green flag.
Absolutely.
We hear from our pit reporter, Jamie Amanda Busick. Downstairs, we start with Jamie. Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening. Yeah, for Tanner Gray, it's trying, but he now played that gorilla off of his back. National event race by getting that Arkham Menard Series flag earlier tonight. He said it not only gave him the knowledge that he's able to go out there and do it, it also taught him how this track is transitioned into nighttime. He knows where the grip is, and he plans on using that tonight. He's also carrying the momentum of finishing in the top 10 on the last two intermediate tracks. He's ready for a Truck Series win, but the driver who was able to get the Truck Series win here last year is Ben Rhodes. And for Ben, he says, yes, statistically, this is the worst start to a season that he has ever had here in the Truck Series. He's the defending champion, and he knows that if he's going to really defend that championship, it's time to start turning things around. The work has been done back in the Thor Sports shop to get it done. Nobody is in panic mode right now. It's time to go. Amanda? Hey, Jamie, and yeah, on Monday it was announced that Steve Thompson would be making his Xfinity debut this weekend. Well, he's in a truck right now, and he just finished 7th in the ARCA race. So with all this talk about doubles, we got triples happening here this weekend. And I asked Steve what made him know that he was ready for this challenge. He said, I have been training and preparing for this for a very long time. And also asked him, how are you conserving your energy? He simply said, I am not. We go back to North Wilkesboro. Corey Heim picked up his 3rd win on the season, just 81 miles away from this track right here. He has finished in the top 10 in every race but one this season. That means that everyone is noticing the consistency that Corey Heim has this season. I asked him about it. He said, you know what motivates me? It's that I don't know what's next. Some people have a job, and I don't. So that is the edge that Corey Heim is racing with, and it's working, Jamie.
I think I want to be his agent. You know what I mean? I would like to risk gonna have it. He is a good person to be right now. Look, everybody wants to know a little bit about Corey Heim. From our friends at Craftsman, present the track description. You can see 1.5 miles in length. To make the 24 degrees. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It didn't look that way this afternoon in practice and qualifying. These trucks are going to be running 180 miles an hour into these corners. A lot of banking, a lot of grip until there isn't, and that's when you see those slips and slides. A lot of grip till there isn't.
Yeah.
Take a look at our race analysis. You see this race is 200 laps, 134 laps, excuse me, 200 miles. You see stage 1 is going to be, that graphic is absolutely wrong.
I think that was the truck race from last week. They had the graphic for the stage splits from last week.
Got pit road with his stop, maybe a little bit in and off pit road. He much from that, and I'm sure he learned a whole lot about his truck this afternoon in practice. Still onboard cameras, Mike. Race to stop suicide on board for Daniel Dye, another truck that's starting in the rear of this field, and he's been so solid this year. It's going to be fun to see Daniel charge through the field. We're also going to ride along with Rajah Caruth. This is the HinderCars.com Chevrolet. Rajah won the race at Las Vegas, a 1.5 miles, looking to be 2.
Qualified on row 2 for tonight's race did Rajah Caruth. And until turn 4, it looked like he was going to be on the ring, so let's get a break in. And we'll be racing when we return to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, looks like they're going to commercial break. A little bit of a lengthy start to this one as far as the parade laps. I know they got the engines fired just a little bit late as well. Not sure exactly the reason for that, but we are going to be going green here before long. No weather in the area at Charlotte for tonight. Potential rain tomorrow during the Xfinity race as well as Cup practice qualifying, but tonight skies are clear, and I think the skies are going to be clear for the 600 on Sunday as well. Maybe not the case with Indianapolis, unfortunately. But as far as NASCAR on Sunday, should go in without any hiccups, except for maybe Kyle Larson, who's going to have maybe a little dilemma if there is rain in Indy. Now, I will say also, with that being said, remember last year's race was ran on a Monday for the 600, so it'd be nice to get this one in on its normal time on the nightcap, especially at the biggest race of the year, the Daytona 500, getting pushed to a Monday. That is the only race, I believe, off the top of my head so far this season that has been ran on a Monday. Hopefully that will still stay true. And yeah, it should be an interesting one. Dark Crypto, Terry Lewis, Mark Witkowski, Robert Perkel, NASCAR Fan 05, Frank Powers, Dan Bowers, Sid Vick, Candy Cox, Bobby Kilmus. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Per usual, you can vote for who you think will win tonight's race in the poll that is open in the chat. 34 votes have already been casted. 38% have Corey Heim winning as well. 38% of you say that somebody other than Heim, Eckes, or Carruth will win. 12% of the votes going towards Eckes and another 12% towards Carruth for right now. We'll close the poll at the end of stage 2 like we usually do. And again, Tanner Gray on the pole, about to lead the field to the green here tonight. But wait and see. Still under a commercial break. We'll stay right here. No ad breaks, at least for the moment for us. Just waiting for this thing to get started. I will say the Charlotte truck races have been wild the last several years. They seem to get a lot of late race yellows that I've noticed. Hometown for a lot of these truck series teams, obviously, and they want to be able to get the win in their hometown, at least by way of team, not necessarily hometown drivers for every single one of them, but just where the teams are based out of the Charlotte area through the ranks of NASCAR. I'd say definitely less in the truck series than other Xfinity and Cup programs, but even still. Relatively home track for many. Lights are out on the pace truck. They will be going green this time by. Field is on the backstretch heading into turn 3 as I speak. Team Communities try to climb from the rear of the field to the front. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly he can try to navigate traffic as Corey Heim starts on the front row, but it's Tanner Gray on the inside of row 1, who is the pole sitter and again is the control truck leading the field to the green. We are underway at Charlotte for the first of many races on this Memorial Day weekend. Tightly boxed together nose to tail as the top and bottom lanes entering into turns 1 and 2. A couple of them fanning out wide, but no 3 wide, at least in the top 10, as Tanner Gray pulls clear off the exit of the corner. Leads down the backstretch, and into turns 3 and 4 they go. Chase Purdy driving it in way too deep. Clipped the apron, in fact, getting into turn 3, goes all the way up the racetrack. Going to lose a spot. And a big lift. Keeper running in the back of him was the 41 of Bailey Curry, and Curry nearly lost a spot as a result of that lift as well. Aggressive start there for Purdy. No contact made, thankfully, and the first lap is in without a caution. Single file through most of the top dozen or so in the field. Matt Crafton making a big dive on the back stretch as he tries to make a pass in the back half of the field. Left side tires were down on the apron on the back straightaway as he was able to get by the 9 of Gray and Enfinger, and he did clear him well before getting into turn 3. Aggressive move panned out for him that time. 3 wide just out of the rear view of the 88, though, as the battle still goes on around Brett Moffitt, Jake Garcia, and Ty Dillon. Tanner Gray has now led the first 2 laps of the race today. Corey Heim just a couple tenths back in the second place position. Ty Majeski third out of the gate here. Roger Carruth fourth, and Lane Riggs is fifth. That is your top 5 in the early laps of this race. Lap 3 to be exact. Corey Heim putting a lot of pressure on Tanner Gray for the race lead now. Turns 1 and 2, lost a little bit in the center, still was able to pick up the throttle sooner than Tanner Gray, and he's looking to motivate around him. Into turns 3 and 4, Corey Heim is clear and in the race lead for the first time as he slides up in front of Tanner Gray, taking the line away. First lead change of the race on lap 4, coming to lap 5. Corey Heim out in front of the field after starting second, and after Tanner Gray led the first 3 laps of the race. These two pulling away from everybody else behind. Battle inside the top 10 for 6 between Jack Wood and Chase Purdy currently. Purdy trying to get that spot back from Wood after Wood got around him on the initial start. Joe Tyler Anchorman, Christian Eckes trying to come from deep in the field. Well, starting 34th and 35th today. They're not taking a lap of qualifying due to damage to the cars from practice. But I don't believe either of those two trucks are in a backup. They have now worked themselves up to 25th and 26th place, with Eckes in 25th and Ankrum again 26th. 30 laps in stages 1 and 2, 74 laps in the final stage tonight. They will not have to pit for fuel, obviously, in these first 2 stages, and they could actually go all the way through the second stage before having to pit. Could be a one-stop race, but obviously because of potential tire fall-off, I'm sure we'll still see most of the field pit regardless of that fact at the end of stage 1 if it does go caution-free these first 30 laps. More than likely are not going to be able to make that final stage on fuel. Could lead into quite a bit of pit strategy. Bailey Curry's truck shoving up the track through 3 and 4 as he overdrove it, nearly wiped himself and the 99 of Ben Rhodes, who was to his outside. That would have been terrible, especially for Ben Rhodes in the current playoff predicament he's in. Rhodes keeps the hammer down, and despite a little move there by Dean Thompson to try to get by him for 10th place after the near contact with him and Curry the corner before that, Rhodes was able to hold on for that position. I didn't realize Tanner Gray was 25 years old. I thought he was the younger brother of Taylor. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I think Tanner was the drag racer. Obviously, that being his, background before that, I guess it makes sense that he's 25, but I would have expected him to be younger for some reason. And I believe it's only his second season full-time in the Truck Series. Ran a part schedule before that, and I believe he was full-time ARCA for a year or two before moving to trucks. Corey Heim is slowly getting away. About a 10th or 2 quicker lap than Tanner Gray right now. Both these trucks are over 2 seconds ahead of third on back. Corey Heim, Tanner Gray, and the rest of the field here in stage 1. First commercial break on FS1 for those of you watching live there. It's a side-by-side break. We'll stay right here with our action and go through the full field running order through the first 10 laps of the race. Again, Corey Heim is your race leader. Tanner Gray in second, Ty Majeski third, Raja Karuth fourth, and Lane Riggs is fifth. Caden Honeycutt already up to 6th place, Chase Purdy 7th, Connor Mosak 8th, Jack Wood 9th, and Ben Rhodes is 10th. Dean Thompson in 11th, 12th is Taylor Gray, Bailey Curry 13th, Stuart Friesen 14th, and Ty Dillon 15th. Matt Crafton on the move up to 16th, Grant Enfinger 17th, Matt Mills 18th, Christian Eckes has cut the field in half to 19th, and Nick Sanchez is 20th. Brett Moffitt in 21st, Daniel Dye 22nd, Stephen Parsons 23rd, Jake Garcia 24th, Tyler Ankrum 25th. Connor Jones is 26th, Brett Holmes 27th, Wallace Allen 28th, Timmy Hill 29th, and Mason Maggio 30th. 31st is Mason Mossy. 31st is Memphis Villarreal. 32nd, rather, is Memphis Villarreal, and Mason Massey is 31st. Spencer Boyd is behind them in 33rd. Jeffrey Earnhardt, 34th. Sam Moffitt, 35th. 36th is Keith McGee, and that rounds out our 36 truck field. We actually had 38 on the entry list. 2 failed to qualify today. I know Jennifer Joe Cabo's one. And I'm not sure exactly who the other one is, but I did see 38 trucks on the entry list. I was at work pulling an OT shift during practice and qualifying, so I did miss that earlier. But I did see there were 38 on NASCAR.com scheduled to try to compete in tonight's race at Charlotte. It'll be no surprise we got some extra entries with this being in the hometown area for a lot of these teams. Thomas Roth, thanks for tuning in as well. Cool Trickle, also welcome to the stream. Still a tight poll right now. 41 votes have been casted. And you guys think somebody other than Heim, Eckes, or Karuth will win? 34% have Corey Heim out in front at the end of this race, 15% for Eckes and Carruth. That is the voting poll thus far.
Race fans different deals throughout the season. Look out for the Craftsman QR code later in the race to take advantage of tonight's Charlotte.
Nice thinking about it. Yeah, that's ready.
I know you are. You can multitask over there.
What about it? It's here, just outside the top 10. Taylor Gray trying to move up.
I had a on Connor Mozak in that 7th, couldn't finish the deal.
Here the 41.
Look at it, high now. Look at how high he went in the corner. That's a different mind that he's experimenting with. See if it gets him down this front straightaway.
Trying to work in my gap behind him. Felt like he was
something. See if it worked. Didn't lose any ground. I love that, man. You got to see what's out there. Oh, that's a big.
Wow.
Dean Thompson ran Jack Wood up the hill. That's going to cost Jack a lot of momentum and a lot of spots.
Great save.
Going to lose about 3 more. Get your attention over the line. Man, Kane Honeycutt was on the inside of Scott Riggs' kid. Thank you, Mike. You made me feel better about myself. It was just a tease. What he was doing. He did, oh, yeah. That's where Lane got, excuse me, Kate got loose earlier and caused that accident. He held it straight that time. Can he complete this pass? White gloves are a must, you know?
Oh, I love it.
I love it. That's a strong move by Honeycutt. It's up inside the top 5. Christian Eckes radio. Yeah, it's got a voltmeter in there. It's showing that it's down where it needs to be. You got to go 12 laps, and hopefully it doesn't weigh down on him to get the crew to take a look at it this first stage break. And you would think that situation won't get any better. Does it appear as though it's short much of that trip yet? He's worked his way to the top 20 from the back, but because Corey leading. We're going to opening through.
All right, 12 laps to go in stage 1 as of right now. Corey Heim has already opened up a 3.3 second lead as he dominates the early going of this race. Still a couple pit stops. You never know what can happen. Crazy restart, but Corey Heim off to a very fast start, trying to go for his 4th win already in these first 10 races of the season. 11 after tonight, of course. So Tanner Gray, again, is still in the 2nd place position. Again, he is 3.6 seconds off the lead now. He was 0.3 slower than Heim the last lap. Ty Majeski is actually running quicker lap times than Gray in 2nd, so he may catch him to move up another spot in the running order. Currently, Ty Majeski is 4.6 seconds off the lead. 5.7 seconds back in 4th is Raja Carruth. Caden Honeycutt, as you heard there just moments ago, moved into 5th place, and Honeycutt is currently 5.9 seconds off the lead. Lane Riggs is in the 6th place position, 8.2 seconds back. Chase Purdy 9 seconds back at 7th. Ben Rhodes in 8th place is 10.8 seconds off the lead. Dean Thompson 11.6 seconds back in 9th. And Connor Mosak rounds out the top 10. Mosak is 12.9 seconds back of the leader. But again, Corey Heim dominating this first stage of the race after Tanner Gray has led the first 3 laps from the pole. Again, Heim started in 2nd. And as you heard from moments ago, another big breaking moment in this race, maybe some voltage issues on the battery for the 19 of Eckes as he comes from deep in the field. Again, started in that last row in 35th and made his way to 17th. He stalled out for the time being. His lap times still seem to be pretty quick, 32 O's. That'd be quick enough to be running in the top 5 right now. For instance, Tanner Gray's last lap in 2nd was a 32.490. 32.0 that last lap for Corey Heim. So the lap times are still there for Eckes. We'll have to monitor, obviously, if he can still stay up on at least enough power to at least continue those lap times. get some track position on pit strategy potentially. It's going to be hard to go off strategy with the stages very short, more than likely a 2-stop race for most of these teams here today. Maybe 3, depending on if they pit at the end of both stages or not. We have seen quite a bit of fall off so far, about 2 seconds of fall off, even for your race leader, Corey Heim, in these first 23 laps. So even under the nighttime skies, the track is still a bit slippery with the cooler temps. We'll take an ad break and then take it to the end of stage 1. Continue to listen live here on KRC to the Craftsman Truck Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Series, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Corey Heim is leading. Second, Tanner Gray. Really not a shit. The third and first second race in that 15th position. The 45 go.
Michael and I've been watching the lap consistently. The construction racetrack. He ran the fastest.
Slap. He has just been in. Let's go down to Amanda.
I talked to Hagen about that little mistake that he had in practice. Christian Atkins and how he puts it behind him. And he said, well, first thing I did was go over in person and apologize to Christian, but I come here to win races. I have to let this go. I talked to Aldis earlier in the week about Hayden Honeycutt, and I've seen a lot. And is Ross Chastain and Carson Edison some pretty good shoes to fill, but a lot of expectations. Hayden.
I don't. Anytime. Getting that 45 truck, it's straight to the front. It's really cool that they found a kid from Texas to get behind the wheel and show that same type of speed. This is really fun to watch. This is how stars are born. We'll talk to Carson about that in a little while. And this is the reason why we see Ross Chastain run on Sundays. And we see and Carson run on Sundays, and this could be the next guy to get to that. Yeah, Phil Gould is the common denominator there for Ross, Carson, and this Keaton Huntington right now, who's all the way up to the second spot.
Nice has 9 wins all time, 8 of those with Phil Gould on equipment, so he knows what he's doing. There's no question about that.
I just love the versatility of the 45. He goes up if he needs to, and he's able to run right on the bottom of it.
3 to go, stage 1.
Man.
Corey Heim has led 24 laps, led 39 laps in this race a year ago, finished second overall. Won stage 1, was second in stage 2. So Heim knows his way around Charlotte Motor Speedway.
We talked to him during our practice qualifying show, and he said he really needed to improve on last year. Hit a second.
Right. Putting a lap on Jimmy Hill.
Could be running the 29th position. Brett Holmes to just do the same thing all over again, Phil. That's right.
Started the back. They have to work on that truck. Lap stage 1. With a 4-second advantage for Corey Heim. Honeycutt a second. Tanner Gray from the pool to third. Roger Farouk in the 4th position. Final truck inside the top 5 as time adjusted. He won last week at North Wilkesboro. And he's picked up where he left off. He's going to get his 5th stage win of the year. And for the 2nd straight season, he went stage 1 at Charlotte. Corey Heim delivers in this first 30-lap run of the night. Honeycutt second. Ray, Caruth, Majeski getting points in the top 5. Lane Riggs was 6th. Chase Purdy 7th. Dean Thompson, Ben Rhodes, Connor Mozak. The rest of the top 10 in this first stage of the night. That stage win for Corey Heim ties him with Kyle Busch for the most this season. Pit stops when we continue from Charlotte.
I was going to say, it's hard to believe, but at the same time, it's not hard to believe that Kyle Busch is tied for the most stage wins this year with only half as many races ran as the regular truck series competitors. But again, it is KFB, and it is a truck series race for him. Of the 5 he's ran this year, he's already reached his max. Any driver that's been in the Cup Series for more than 3 seasons can only run 5 races in the Truck Series. As far as Truck and Xfinity for that matter. Speaking of which, though, by the way, Kyle Busch is in the Xfinity Series race tomorrow. It'll be his first Xfinity start of the season. As far as this race goes, it's Heim time, at least so far. We'll see if that'll be the case. Caden Honeycutt was absolutely a man on a mission there. He was on the move. And he was running a few tenths quicker a lap than Corey Heim. Now, Heim could have been maybe steady footing it a little bit once he got out to a nearly 5-second lead in the closing laps of the stage. But Honeycutt definitely was quick. Started 9th all the way up to 2nd in the first stage. And now, if he can have a quick pit stop and restart in the front row with Corey, it's going to be fun to watch those two go toe to toe and see who actually is fastest between them. Coming from the rear of the field up to 13th was Christian Eckes. Tyler Ankerman will also start at the rear of the field, only got up to 24th. Same team, of course, with the Rackley team. Those two being teammates. But Eckes no stage points in that first stage, and we'll have to monitor again if there's an alternator or battery issue there. You heard Adam Alexander talk about it, but I'll reiterate the drivers receiving stage points in stage one. Again, Corey Heim, your stage one winner. It's his 5th stage win of the season. Caden Honeycutt ended up 2nd in the stage on a part-time basis. Again, this is only his 5th start in his first 4. He's had 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s, trying to get another here today. Tanner Gray is in 3rd. Raja Karuth 4th. Ty Majeski ended up falling from 3rd to 5th in the closing laps of stage 1. Lane Riggs ended up 6th. Chase Purdy 7th. Dean Thompson 8th. Ben Rhodes 9th. Connor Mosack rounded out the top 10. Yeah, no Fords have gone to victory lane in the Truck Series through the first 10 than half that many people concurrently watching. Be sure to hit the like button again if you haven't done so. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. Listening live on KRC. We'll have pit stops coming your way shortly.
Stage completed. The North Carolina Education Lottery 200 delivers the green and white checkered flag. Kate Honeycutt was 2nd. That's his best ever stage finish. Here's the stage point breakdown. Tanner Gray, much needed stage points, came in right at the cut line.
And most of his competitors did not get stage. It's going to be a 15. Tanner Gray.
Oh, that's right. So that's good. He take all he can get when you consider where he is in the lineup with 6 races to go to the playoffs. We'll get pit stops ending stage 1. We start with Jamie Howell.
The first that will make it to the pit box will be in spot number 1, which is Tanner Gray. His biggest complaint was that he was just a little too edgy. He said that he didn't have enough security. So what his crew chief, Jeremy Donnelly, is doing is just going to tighten him up a little bit, but doesn't hurt turns 1 and turns 2, especially at the start of this step. So there's very slight adjustments. Rajah Farouk, he said that he was just a little too tight, so they're going to just make small adjustments. He said otherwise, hey, Amanda. Well, it looks like things are going well for the 45 and 11 so far on the bottom right there on the 45 and Caden Honeycutt. He's really been working on that relationship with Phil Poole in his 5th race with Neath Motorsport. As you see, Corey Heim off. The team did tell him to stop short of his box to make sure he had a clean exit, as you saw there.
Majeski coming out of the pits. Caruth off in the grass. Tanner Gray goes +2. Great stop with a 15. -1 for Heim. Honeycutt goes 1 in the wrong direction. +3 for Chase Purdy. Let's watch what happened to his teammate.
This is a mess trying to get out of the pits. I think Lane Rigg is going to pull out of his pits and just pull to the grass like nobody's there. Unfortunately, there were 2 other trucks on the outside of him. See Taylor Gray leaving his box there. Let's hop on board with 71 and watch this action.
Ready for stage 2 when we come back to Charlotte.
Not a lot of damage after the contact on pit road between Majeski and Caruth. Pretty harmless there, other than the fact that Caruth lost a spot or 2 on pit road after getting shoved wide into the grass on the front stretch. And good thing it isn't grass either. It was turf, of course, on the front stretch at Charlotte with the Roval. Still, I believe, the only NASCAR track to have turf in the infield instead of actual grass. But, needless to say, Stuart Friesen ended up actually winning the race off pit road. I believe he went no tires and fuel only, so maybe saving a set for the end. But he did win the race out of the pits. We'll see if he maybe comes down and takes tires the next time around or not. 56 truck of Timmy Hill got the free pass with the stage yellow, and the stage caution is our first caution of the night. So we'll have 29 drivers on the lead lap when we get back to racing. Caruth at the tail end of the field here might have got caught speeding on pit road. We'll have to wait and see. Not really his fault there. He got shoved into the grass, and he actually lost time, so I'm kind of curious to know where he sped on pit road. Maybe it was more towards the entrance before his pit box. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that one. And he obviously got forced wide, so I don't think there's any penalty there. There was contact between him and the 98, so we'll have to listen in when they come back from the commercial break to see exactly what the penalty might have been there for Caruth. Christian Eckes at the tail end of the field here as well, despite finishing 13th at the end of the stage. I'm not sure if they brought their truck back to pit road or not to try to check to see if there was any battery or alternator issues there, or maybe they're making the change. So I'll also have to wait and get an update on them from the FS1 booth when they come back again from commercial. Yeah, 100 to go already. Very short race, 200 miles, 134 laps at Charlotte, and the way the first stage went caution free, it only makes it even quicker. So again, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more NASCAR content if you haven't yet. Live commentary coverage every NASCAR race weekend for NASCAR Truck Xfinity and Cup Series races, as well as Cup practice and qualifying. Corey Heim was your winner in stage 1. Of the drivers who did take tires on pit road, Tanner Gray won the race out of the pits, had the number 1 pit box, of course, after winning the pole. So got that advantage to go from 3rd to 1st. 3rd at the end of stage 1 to 1st off of pit road. And he held on to the lead for 3 laps after a pretty good initial start. We'll see if he takes the inside of row 1 again. It worked out for him.
Carson Hosevar up into the Truck Series booth. So good last year driving in the trucks. It's real special right here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Great to have you with us once again. Calling the action here at FS1.
Yeah, I appreciate it. What a beautiful night we've had. Obviously, that 45 truck of Keaton Honeycutt's really fast.
Well, you jumped right in there on that.
Yeah, I was but also gratitude, right? Similar setup. I know Phil and them, and they have the similar setup that we built 2 years ago. So we ran it the same year, ran it back, and obviously they ran it back here, and it's still working. So it's nice to know that a little bit of homework being throughout the years is doing well for that 45 team right now.
And what pace he's got. I mean, we watched him run the fastest lap times lap after lap. So it's going to get good. These restarts, though, Carson, you know how crazy they are. You've lived it. What kind of advice would you give Caden right now, the young racer?
It's so it's so easy to spin those tires. It's so easy to get a bad restart here. It's so important. The bottom is such an advantage. We saw it even on the new tires that the top lane, it's so easy to spin the tires, so easy to get put back. And all of a sudden you got them swallowing you up. You lose 2 or 3 spots, and now you're stuck in dirty air. And it's so technical here, especially with clean air, especially through 1 and 2. You're almost wide open throughout the run, especially the really good trucks. They can stay almost wide open, but when you get those bumps, it gets the thing upset. It's the nose off the ground, and then all of a sudden it starts taking off even more because you get in the dirty air. So it's such a value.
Let's go down to Jamie.
While we were at break, Rajah Caruth had to make a second pit stop.
Okay.
The reason being was the damage
No
after
penalty.
the contact that occurred when he was exiting his pit stall. As he came down pit lane, he asked his spotter, Joe Campbell, he said, was there anything that I could have done differently to avoid that? He was told, no, you could not. They already apologized for it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with your truck. Put your head down and go, Adam.
Christian Eckes, extended stop. We talked about their problems. He restarts in the 28th position. Timmy Hill got the free pass, so he's back on the lead lap. And that tire that got away was the 67 of Jeffrey Earnhardt. Front row for the restart.
All right, pace truck down on the pit road. Green flag is about to wave. Lap 38 for this restart, so we're down to 23 to go already in stage 2. And Tanner Gray does elect the inside lane for the restart once again, just as he did the initial start. Side by side for the lead into turns 1 and 2. Corey Heim much better this time around on the restart. Has to block high, though. Almost blocked the truck up into the wall. 3 wide now just behind the 11. And that was Caden Honeycutt who tried to take it 3 wide for the lead. Lost a few positions and now falls to about 5th or 6th place as Gray continues to lead into 3 and 4. A run coming on the outside lane, though, again by Corey Heim. First lap after the restart, under green at least, will be led by the 15 of Gray. But only by about 14 one-thousandths of a second at the line, as Corey Heim is right there with him still. There's the Taylor, the top 2 in the running order. One truck nearly got up against the wall in turns 1 and 2. I think that was Dean Thompson. Carries that momentum, though, using every bit of asphalt he can as he motivates by the 7 truck of Connor Mosak. That passes for 7th place on the racetrack. Tanner's brother Taylor Gray right behind those 2 in that battle. Tanner now going to lead the following lap after the restart. So he led 3 laps on the initial start of the race before Corey Heim took the lead away from him. He has led the first 2 laps after this restart and still leading off turn 2. Although Heim all over the back bumper again into turns 3 and 4, and it was turns 3 and 4 where Heim was able to get by Gray the last time. Gray going to the bottom of the track, a lane up into the slightly clean air for Corey Heim in the center of the corner. Maybe going to carry now more momentum down the front stretch. Big run coming into turn 1 for Corey Heim. We'll see if he makes the dive this time or if he's going to be patient, pull back, and try to make a move again another lap. Looks to the inside, but can't quite get underneath the 15 truck yet. So close to hanging on that left rear corner panel. Now maybe able to do so a little bit. Side draft. Heim is there inside turn 3. Tanner Gray going to really try to pinch this 11 truck down to the bottom of the track. Heim wiggles just a little bit, door to door. Another big side draft by Corey Heim, this time on the front stretch. Gray leads another lap at the line, but by inches. A quick clip in the second dogleg on the front stretch into that turf for Heim. But it didn't affect him in the speed department. Again, maybe lucky that it was turf and not grass. It works out for him. He's going to lead off turn 2. As Honeycutt continues to lose positions on this restart, Mosack underneath them now battling for 7th place. 3 wide outside the top 10 around Ben Rhodes. Ty Dillon and Daniel Dye all battling for 11th between those 3 trucks. And a big run by Dye off turn 4 down the front stretch and shoots the gap into turn 1. A slide job for Dye as he goes up the hill. Has to catch the truck, got very loose, barely kept it off the 91. And now Wood hangs on to the momentum and the 10th place spot. And Ty Dillon's going to try to slingshot his way by Daniel Dye after Dye's mistake on the other end of the track in 1 and 2. Nick Sanchez coming from deeper in the field, now underneath Dye as well, out of seemingly nowhere to battle for 12th. Big moment now by the 7 of Mosack, and he has to catch his truck to keep from making contact. As he tried to battle back on Caden Honeycutt, Honeycutt finally gets the pass made on the outside through 1 and 2, and again that is for 7th. Corey Heim, after passing Tanner Gray for the lead just a few laps ago, is still only about 0.3 of a second ahead. Trading lap times back and forth as Gray and Heim, so maybe some good adjustments made to the 15 truck of Gray following the first pit stops during the stage 1 break. Corey Heim not off to as big of a lead. A great job by Chase Purdy getting to 3rd on that restart as well, quietly. Top 5 in the intervals between the leaders. Lap 44 in this one. Again, Corey Heim just 0.3 of a second out ahead of Tanner Gray in 2nd. Chase Purdy is 1.3 seconds back in 3rd, as mentioned already. Ty Majeski's up to 4th place, 1.8 seconds up the lead. And Dean Thompson in the top 5 for the first time in 5th. He's 2.1 seconds behind Heim. Halfway through stage 2, 15 to go in the second stage. And once again, remember to hit the like button on the stream. Our goal is to get to 100 likes tonight. We're at 38 currently. Subscribe and also vote for who you think will win the race tonight. That voting poll closes at the end of stage 2, so in 15 laps we'll close the poll. 42% of you agreeing with me saying Corey Heim will win. As of right now, that's after 61 votes. 34% of you say somebody other than Eckes, Caruth, or Heim will win. Caruth getting 15% of the votes, and Eckes getting 10% of the votes. Both of those trucks restarting at the tail end of the field on this last restart. Eckes has made his way up to 18th in the battle there, and Caruth up to 16th, just a couple spots ahead of Eckes. They restarted 28th and 29th on the restart with 29 trucks on the lead lap after Timmy Hill again got the free pass at the end of stage 1. No cautions for incident. We've had a couple of close calls with some tight battling for position, especially in turns 1 and 2. Very slippery up off the exit of turn 2. Couple of incidences already. Tyler Ankrum went for a spin in practice earlier today, as well as Caden Honeycutt and Christian Eckes. All in relatively good equipment, faster trucks. We've seen Honeycutt run as high as 2nd, which is where he finished at the end of stage 1. And again, that was even with the first stage going caution-free, all 30 laps. It's not an extremely long green flag run, but obviously the longest of the night. And it seems to be where Honeycutt is at his best, is on those very long runs. Now, he fell back on this restart to 8th place. He's made his way back to 6th after restarting at 30, and he tried to take it 3 wide to the outside of Heim for the lead. Heim threw a block. It was a clean one, but Honeycutt ended up out of the groove. Lap time-wise, though, that last lap, Honeycutt about 7/1000ths of a second quicker than Heim. Heim obviously has the clean air. Honeycutt back in traffic and still running the quickest laps. Just needs to get that track position and keep it. He got the track position at the end of the last stage. He lost 1 spot on pit road, but not bad. He started row 2, and then he lost the track position. So Pickard did at least a good enough job keeping it up there. Hayden did a good job at stage 1 getting him to that point, but now he's got to get a little bit better on the restarts as we get further along in this race. Especially with time winding down together, these truck races so short. We're in stage 2. But already down to just 83 laps to go. Not a lot of time left. Honeycutt making another pass as he works back into the top 5. That passes on Majeski for 4th. He also passed Dean Thompson a lap or 2 ago. A little bit bigger gap to try to catch Chase Purdy for 3rd. Honeycutt about 4 seconds off the leader. Heim finally started to open the gap up between himself and Gray in 2nd. That gap is about 1.4 seconds now between P1 and P2. Average race speed to this point, 134.65 miles an hour, a little over 30 minutes into the race from the drop of the green flag initially at the start of the night. I believe 8:47 Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken, was the drop of the green flag. Could be a little wrong on that. Had a slightly delayed starter, longer wait time, I guess, before the initial start of this one. 11 laps led for the pole sitter Tanner Gray. He's led 2 different times. And Corey Heim has led 2 different times, obviously, for 42 laps led after winning stage 1. No cautions for incident so far. We're guaranteed at least 1 more yellow at the stage 2 break. Again, that is at lap 60, which is 7 laps away from now. So Cochran, thanks for tuning in. He's pulling for Ty Majeski, or at least picking Majeski to get the win here today. Comment in the chat specifically who you think is going to win. Obviously, I see you voting in the poll, and collectively, it looks like Corey Heim is still the top pick to win this race. Got 43% of the votes. That can still change, though. Got 65 votes so far. Only have 6 more laps to vote. 40 likes on the stream right now. Let's try to get to halfway before the end. Before the start of stage 3. We'll see if we can get to halfway to our goal before stage 3 kicks off. Side by side between, already got up as high as 3rd, and now he's back to 6th and battling Riggs, trying to hold on. And Christian Eckes did not make his way through the field as quickly here as what he did back at stage 1. Roger Carruth just a couple positions ahead of him. Tail end of the lead laps, still no stage points for those drivers. Now, Carruth did get stage points in stage 1. Lost the track position after contact on pit road. Eckes, no stage points, which is very costly when you consider the fact that he came into this race just 4 points ahead of Corey Heim. 20 stage points to 0 for Heim if he holds on to win stage 2, which he should. He's 2.5 seconds ahead with 4 to go, now 3 to go in stage 2. And he'll die. Big momentum surge, blowing the doors off the 17 truck of Taylor Gray. He caught him from a ways back and cleared him by quite a bit. I almost wonder if Gray was just slow on the backstretch, maybe didn't get off turn 2 very well and is still trying to get the momentum back. That pass was for the final stage point as well, if Dye's able to hold on. That battle is for 10th place. Every point matters. Daniel Dye, one of those bubble drivers, came into the day just 17 points behind Ben Rhodes for that final spot to get into the playoffs, and Rhodes currently outside the top 10. 1 point is huge there, especially consider the fact that both of those drivers had stage points at the end of stage 1. Rhodes had more, so this will kind of cancel out. I think Rhodes still is going to have 1 or 2 more points in the stages, at least in Daniel Dye, but got to start somewhere, and we'll see which one of those two will finish better than one another as well. One more lap to go in stage 2 at the line for Heim. He's opened up an over 3.5 second lead. And Heim time since the drop of the green flag so far today. And Chase Purdy slowly running Tanner Gray down for second. I don't know if he's going to get there or not. Aja Caruth and Grant Enfinger are battling for position. That is a battle for 15th. Caruth actually lost a spot in recent laps. It was as high as 14th during this stage. I didn't think he had that much damage on his left front fender. I guess he did. Had to come on the pit road that second time to pull the fender out. It didn't look like there was that much damage on the contact on the first pit stops of the day. So after pandemonium on the first stop and a lot of trucks down at once, we're about to see a lot of trucks come down for their second pit stops of the day during the stage break. We are at the end of stage 2 now. Corey Heim has swept the stages tonight, winning his 5th and 6th stages of the season. Most in the series of any truck regular or non-truck regular now. He matched Busch for the most stage wins this season in stage 1, and now he tops him here in stage 2. Next closest of the truck regulars is Christian Eckes, who has 3 stage wins. So now doubling the stage wins is Corey Heim. And this is a big day for the points because, again, only 5 races left in the regular season standings after tonight. Corey Heim was 4 points out of first on Christian Eckes, despite having 1 more win than the 19 team. But Corey Heim getting 20 stage points to Eckes' 0 today. That is huge. That means just to start this final stage alone, he is now 16 points ahead of the cutoff line. And we'll see if Eckes can get back into the top 10. He has yet to get there, and he actually fell to 20th late in the stage. It was as high as 17th in this stage, 13th overall in the races, as high as Eckes has been in the running order. Again, your stage 2 results. Corey Heim wins the stage. Tanner Gray 2nd. Chase Purdy 3rd. Caden Honeycutt 14th. Thompson 5th. Ty Majeski 6th. Lane Riggs 7th. Connor Mosack 8th. Nick Sanchez 9th. Daniel Dye did get that final stage point in stage 2 as he was 10th. Take an ad break. Continue our live commentary coverage of the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 at Charlotte for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. You're listening live on KRC. We'll close that poll now. 68 votes were casted. Appreciate everybody that did vote for who you thought was going to win tonight's race. 42% of you say Corey Heim would get the win. 33% saying somebody other than Heim, Caruth, or Eckes would win. Caruth getting 13% of the votes and 10% of the votes for Eckes. So we're in agreement that Corey Heim is going to win tonight's race via me and the chat. A couple of you guys I saw picking somebody other than those 3. I saw Majeski pick, like I mentioned. But I definitely see a lot of Heims. Joseph C3, I don't think I shouted you out at all. Probably been here for a while now, but appreciate you tuning in. I see you in the chat. End of stage 2 diecast showing. Here it is. All this weekend for the diecast showings at the end of stage 2, or in the Indy 500 for that matter. We'll do it the halfway point, no stage racing in IndyCar. Yeah, diecast showing this weekend. It'll be all Coke 600. Austin Dillon 2014 paint scheme here. This was from his rookie season. And you can see the rookie stripes on the back of the car faintly. It's a Cheerios Chevrolet SS. I really like this paint scheme. I've always liked the Cheerios schemes over the years. Even with the John Andretti days there with Petty Enterprise, Bobby Labonte's paint scheme there in the late 2000s when he drove the 43. But I've always liked the Cheerios car. I like this one specifically because the paint scheme with the yellow and the black kind of reminds me of Bumblebee with the way the Camaro looks with the stripes on the front there too. I really like the look of this Austin Dillon car. Honestly, probably my favorite Austin Dillon diecast. Paint scheme in general, and this is the only Austin Dillon diecast that I own. So this is the diecast showing for the night. We got pit stops for the second time. Honeycutt did get a spot on pit road, moving back up to third. 2 spots gained for Majeski, 3 for Mosak, 3 spots gained also for Taylor Gray, and 2 for Nick Sanchez as he breaks into the top 10 for the first time. Equipment out of the box, though, for Caden Honeycutt. Tough break. Fuel can stuck in the holster of the nozzle, and now it is dropped, and it is rolling down the back straightaway. So Honeycutt will go from third after gaining a spot off pit road to now being at the tail end of the field. A pit road blunder costing Honeycutt, who has a bad fast race truck tonight. And even better for Corey Heim, who's dominated the race, his only major contender for the win by way of speed up to this point is now going to be further back in the pack, tail end of the longest line to be exact on the restart. Free pass went to Mason Massey with the caution during the stage break. I think there were some drivers that ended up losing another lap and fell from 1 lap down to 2 laps down late in the stage, 4 of them to be exact, all 36 trucks that started still in the race. By the way, I mentioned with the diecast showings this weekend, during the live commentary streams, again, you just saw this Austin Dillon diecast. They're all Coke 600 winners or Indy 500 winner. In this case, Austin Dillon's first career cup win came in the Coca-Cola 600 back in I got to think about this for a second. 2017, I do believe. It was no, sorry, I'm not 20. Yeah, I had it right. 2017. I had it right. 16 was the year that Truex dominated. I do believe 17 was Austin Dillon's year, fuel mileage win. If I'm not mistaken. I might have those two flip-flopped. Let me know in the chat. Did I mix that up? Is it 16 or 17? My mistake on that one. Now I'm confusing myself. I was so confident it was 16, and then I second-guessed myself. I do think it's 17. Austin Dillon won the Coke 600 in 17. Because 16 was the year that Truex led like 392 laps or something ridiculous out of 400. I believe it was before his championship season. Truex winning the title in 17. So that's why I was thinking it was the same year at first. No, I have it right the second time. Yeah, 2017. I'm locking in my answer. 2017 Coke 600 winner Austin Dillon. Again, yeah, that is the diecast showing for tonight. We'll have another Coke 600 winner during tomorrow's Xfinity race coverage. 17. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I had it right. Corrected myself correctly. So we will be getting a restart in shortly. Oh, my Tigers finally ended their losing skid tonight. They win 6-2. They were getting throttled like 4 games in a row. It was bad. There were somewhat close games going into the later innings, and their bullpen would give it up. Alrighty. Final stage about to begin. Can anybody beat Corey Heim? I don't want that to be the case. I have like almost a 50% clip for predicting the truck winners this year. I've predicted 5 winners so far this season through 10 races. Trying to go 6 for 11. I believe the last one I got right was taking Heim at Kansas. It's been a couple races since I predicted the winner of the truck race. I had 3 of the first 5 Cup races this season. I haven't had one since then, so I'm 0 for my last 8 in the Cup Series. Xfinity, I have 4 on the season, and most of those have been in recent weeks. So, yeah, I'm doing good with the truck and Xfinity win picks lately, but Cup Series, I'm kind of falling off of it a little bit. 100 obviously goes long, then we may not go live at 5:30, so that's really the only start time of the stream that's scheduled to change this weekend. And obviously, if the Indy 500 is delayed till Monday, then we won't go live for that until Monday. But if they get the race started on time, we will be live there. If there's any rain delay during the midst of the Indy 500, we'll still stay live during it until, of course, the 600 starts, and I have to go live for that, with this being a NASCAR channel. Larson obviously would not want that to happen. That'd be an interesting situation if he starts the race and then is unable to finish it. I did hear from on David Land's YouTube channel, because he's the IndyCar guy. I'm not the IndyCar guy. that if there is a substitute driver, it has to be before the race. Tony Kanaan would be the substitute driver for Larson. If Larson cannot start the race and the race starts on Sunday. If the race does not start Sunday and it runs Monday, Larson can race, no problem. Obviously, the 600 will be the night before. Maybe extra jet lag, consider the fact he'd be flying from Indy to Charlotte, back to Indy, but needless to say, I think he can get it done. There will probably actually have more rest then than if he were to race a full Indy 500 then the 600. But yeah, so Tony Kanaan is the replacement driver for Larson again. And with that being said, Kyle Larson, if he starts the race, cannot be substituted during the race. The substitution has to happen before the race starts, and Kanaan would obviously have to drop out of the fifth starting spot and start from the rear. Meanwhile, we'll worry about that on Sunday when the time comes. Green flag is back in the air. We're halfway through the race, as we begin stage 3. Corey Heim, the control truck on the restart for the first time today, chose the inside row 1. Same lane as Tanner Gray in the first couple of restarts. Corey Heim was easily able to pull clear. Tanner Gray had a big push down the backstretch from 2 trucks behind him as they were all locking bumpers on the outside. Oh, big crash! And a hard impact for Thad Moffitt to Tyler Ankram's right side of his truck. Caution's out. Our first incident of the night. Our third caution total.
Involved. Was it Jeffrey Earnhardt?
Yeah, there's the Earnhardt truck. A lot of damage to that truck.
This was happening just outside the 15. They were racing there when the incident occurred.
Window net coming down of Tyler.
Quite a few trucks in it.
To the season. But bad luck here lately.
Bit of a bounce back last week at North Wilkesboro, but the problems today had to spin in qualifying, tried to come from the rear, and unfortunately not going to have the ending he wanted.
It hasn't been for a lack of speed. They just had a bad lap. 3 finishes, 20th or worse, but went into last week at North Wilkesboro.
Could we get stage 3 started, guys? Tennessee definitely picked up a little bit right here.
Just like last year. You go stage 1, stage 2, caution free. You get in the final stage, all bets are off, and as you said, a little more aggression, and we have our first caution for an accident on the night.
See Jeffrey in there moving around, getting ready to out of that truck.
What a tough break for him, right?
Mm-hmm. There's McGee.
Yeah, 2 guys just trying to grasp and get rides, right? So tough night for them to end here.
See if we can see where this starts.
Oh, it's already well happened.
Yeah, Anchor
It was way down there.
Yeah, that's straight.
Thad Moffitt coming in, nowhere to go. Really landed in his lap here.
Yeah, Anchor coming straight up the racetrack, right in front of Thad Moffitt in the 46. So there's a bunch of hard hits for these guys. Look at all the damage to that truck at Thad Moffitt and the right side of Anchor's truck.
My imagination is running wild, trying to figure out why he was so low. If he was hooked or a flat tire or something, because obviously it happens, just before the corner.
Yeah, he must have gotten hit on the back straightaway. Maybe a bump trap gone wrong. You see, he's already
down there,
already crashing, and then bam,
on a hard hit for Thad right there.
Didn't have anywhere to go. So Keith McGee come in and make contact.
Check out the middle of the pack
right here.
Tyler Ankrum.
Oh, he gets hooked. Yeah, he went to move up the track a little bit, and there was someone there. Was that Moffitt?
Yep.
And then watch this. Thad Moffitt had committed to the top, and that's where Ankrum went. And McGee came along, made contact with him, and then caught Jeffrey Earnhardt in the right rear quarter panel and turned him into the outside wall.
Yeah, nowhere really for those guys to avoid, right? He's way down there. You think you're safe. You keep staying the throttles, try to get up and going around him, and then all of a sudden he lands in your lap, and then he comes back down the racetrack. Tough for them, but yeah, I mean, tough break for Ankrum, right? So good this season, leading the points for the first time, and it's just really just started to go downhill. He can start as good as it can, but also too can realize what the reality can be in the sport, right?
We'll take a break. Just underway in the final stage, and under caution, our third of the night. Corey Heim leading at Charlotte.
Only a couple laps into this restart, I think it was the first lap after the restart. We didn't even get a full green flag lap in there before the caution came out further behind the leaders. More towards the back of this lead pack. Most of the trucks actually involved were already a lap down. But not Brett Moffitt. The 46 Thad Moffitt, I believe, was just off the lead lap, was where it started. Tyler Ankrum. And then, of course, it looked like Brett Moffitt had got into the back of him, starting the accident. Moffitt also on the lead lap. So they were battling outside the top 20 on that restart. And again, this is the first caution for incident tonight. Our first two cautions were the stage breaks at lap 30 and lap 60. Corey Heim continues to dominate as he leads this race with 64 laps to go and counting down. Fuel saving measures underway. The only chance really these teams have of making on fuel through stage 3 without any pit stops is if we get quite a few cautions. And this one right here, obviously with not getting a full green flag lap in, is going to make it interesting. I believe the fuel window is about 55 to 60 green flag laps. By the time we went green, we had 67 to go. So they're probably going to be about 7 laps short on fuel. It's going to be interesting. I think if you're at the back of the pack, you come in, you top off just to be safe. You have extra fuel to the end. Will this be the last caution? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the first two stages went really long green flag runs, no yellows, so it's hard to tell if this is going to be just a caution-filled stage 3 or if we'll fall back into the long green flag run form once again. Could be a mixture of both as well. I know we get long enough into a green flag run on tires, these teams will probably pit, considering we have seen a lot of fall off. Again, after about 20 laps or so, we've seen about 2 seconds of fall off. So every 10 laps, seemingly about a second of fall off. Not sure if it tapers after 30, because the longest green flag run would have been the first 30 of the race. So if we go green from now to the end, it would be the longest green flag run of the night. Again, be sure to hit the like button. We're at 43 likes on the stream so far. So we await them to come back for commercial break. And by them, I mean Fox Sports 1. And that is where the visuals are for tonight's race. But you can listen live here on KRC to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series North Carolina Education Lottery 200 Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Visit your local dealer today.
And they still got ads playing in the background. It was a little early coming back. There we go.
6 racing to the playoffs. It's a busy time of year for tailgating. We're right in the middle of the 5 race here. To the Gateway West St. Louis pickup truck.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? It is very cool, right? I mean, this is tough on these teams to bring 5 in a row. Luckily, there's a lot close to home, but this is tough on these teams, especially the small teams. So to be able to be committed like this, it really just tells how good and how much depth these teams do and really have.
We don't have the King Cap, Carson, Phil, Michael, and me. We sit 3 across the front there. You're going to have to sit.
Best seat,
Okay.
best seat.
Lengthy cleanup at Charlotte. We'll knock out another break. When we come back, what are these teams going to do here?
Yeah, definitely some hard impacts in the midst of that caution. Thad Moffitt completely crunched the right side door of Ankrum's race truck after Ankrum already took a head-on shot into the wall on the outside of turns 3 and 4. 29 trucks on the lead lap right now following the incident. We had 31 after the free pass at the end of the last stage, but obviously this caution coming out. Well, it only took out one truck that was on the lead lap, so it actually went from 30 to 29. And the free pass was given to Spencer Boyd with this caution. And he has not gotten his lap back yet. His pit road is not open, so still waiting on pit road to open. We got some safety trucks towing other trucks down the pit road. The longer this caution goes, the more likely these teams are going to be to make it on fuel to the end, or at least closer to the line of being able to make it if they were more on the outside looking in, which I would believe that was the case coming into this. So we'll have 30 trucks on the lead lap once Boyd gets his lap back, and we'll see if Mason Maggio maybe gets the wave around as well. In order to do that, though, he's going to need every car on the lead lap to pit, every truck that is. I don't know that that would be the case. It's tough to give up that track position if you're at the very front of the field to pit here for fuel purposes only. I mean, obviously, you might as well take tires if you do come down. But again, we didn't even get a full green flag lap in, so there's no tire wear really off of these trucks. Quick, not even a full heat cycle, obviously. Again, the laps are going by quickly. There's 60 to go, still a little less than an hour from the drop of the green flag of tonight's race. A little bit before 9 p.m. Eastern. You have 44 likes now on the stream. Again, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. Original goal to get to 100 likes on the stream tonight. It's our usual goal for the Truck Series streams. Coming off our most viewed Truck Series stream last weekend at North Wilkesboro Speedway. I don't think I mentioned that at all during last week's stream, so greatly appreciate that, everyone. We had our most, I think it was the most liked and the most viewed Truck Series stream of the season so far. So even with that giving, I think it being ran on a Sunday probably helped with that. And that was even with the race starting on Saturday. So again, thanks for everybody tuning in for these live commentary streams every NASCAR race weekend.
Same thing.
It's dancing too.
Now he's got that.
Here's again. He's waiting for Fox Baseball tomorrow.
Baseball night in America.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, Taylor Gray threw out the first pitch this week over at the Redbirds game. How about that?
Love that.
Which is controversial because he's a Braves fan. We'll get to that another time.
Yeah.
Let's go to the strategy here. We had a couple of trucks come down, tip off with fuel. Nobody else coming down, getting that final set of tires. Where do we think this is all going to shake out? Final
We talked about it during the break. We saw Kate Hinnicutt come down pit road as well as Jake Garcia. Good move. They were towards the back of the pack anyway. They're the ones that were the penalty trucks from the previous pit stops. So they just took off with fuel. That means they will need less fuel when they come in again. So that may open up the playbook a little bit.
Just puts more tools in their toolbox, right? It just gives them a little bit more options, a little bit more changes that they could go long if they could allow themselves to maybe catch a yellow, but they could also too maybe just take fuel only if they need that little, and just a lot of different factors that could play into here and being risky because you had a truck that could contend for the win.
Keith McGee, Jeffrey Earnhardt released from the Care Center. Good news there. They were involved in this caution.
We talked about the playbook. Sanchez just got called a pit road. They're putting fuel in that truck and see they're lifting up the left side, seeing if they can squeeze just a little bit more fuel in it. And also getting a report from the radio that maybe there's a loose lug. One of the wheels isn't tight. They're surveying that. Yeah, I think this is a great call. Again, we only had 59 laps to go. We talked about the pit window being 50 to 55. We're going to save a little fuel on this caution lap right here. For all these teams that came down pit road, they may need a handful of more caution laps and maybe get in their window to make it. Becca's had starting with practice earlier. He just came to pit road, got 4 tires, so he's saying this is our chance to use strategy to get up front.
I tell you, the big winner in this, Kate Honeycutt, you just came down pit road, put fuel in it. The way that people weren't sure and whatnot, with how many people just came down under the one to go, we gained like 4 or 5 rows right here. So he has more fuel than everybody and is probably further up than he would have in a normal choose scenario.
He's the highest placed truck right now. That pitted on this truck.
Absolutely. A whole lot to watch as we go green one more time. The one thing that hasn't changed.
58 laps to go. Corey Heim still out in front of the field. Tanner Gray on the front row for the restart, but the outside again versus the inside for Corey. Corey had a good restart the last time by. We'll see if he can hold on for an entire lap and then some, though, this go around as the green flag is back in the air. Nearly 4 wide into the first turn of the back half of the top 10. Saw some sparks flying there, a little bit of contact, maybe some trucks bottoming out into the corner. Still tight off the exit of turn 2 as they try to get organized in the back half of the top 10. Corey Heim easily with the lead. A lot less pressure on him this go around than the prior restart. And still 3 wide and tight in the middle as Raja Karuth has little to nowhere to go in that middle group just outside the top 10. Right between Ty Dillon and I can't tell who's due his inside. Looks like Grant Enfinger in the 9 truck was there. Enfinger lost a lot of momentum off the exit of turn 4 running that very bottom lane. Daniel Dye can as well here. Seen a couple of trucks now clip the apron, getting into the corner a couple times. I did that on NASCAR 7 earlier tonight a couple times. Even in real life, they're having problems with it from time to time. It's a very narrow racetrack. It's the most narrow of the traditional 1.5-mile tracks on the circuit. Atlanta's got the same width between top to bottom of the racetrack, but that now technically a drafting / super speedway style track. Of the traditional 1.5 miles, again, this has the least amount of width from the wall down to the apron. Definitely narrows up quite a bit off the exit of the corner, especially off turn 4, headed into the dog-legged front stretch. Corey Himes led every lap of stage 3 so far, and he has led 68 of 79 laps. Again, 11 laps led by the pole sitter, Tanner Gray. Those are the only 2 different leaders, and we've had 3 lead changes amongst them. 3 cautions, 1 for incident. It was on the first green flag lap of stage 3. We had 8 laps under that last caution spent total. 54 to go this time by. And Matt Crafton's up against the wall. Caution is out again. Quite a bit of damage to the right side of Crafton's truck. That is not good. He came into this race just below the cutoff line on points. And the 3-time truck champion with 5 races to go in the regular season could be well behind the cutoff line if he DNFs here. He's got a lot of damage to the right side, and I believe he might have had a right front down, which could have caused the accident. That is a significant amount of damage on the right side, and now we are definitely within the fuel window to make it to the end. But the question is, do these teams want to come in? Might have some split strategies coming up, I believe, with pit stops. I would not be shocked if we saw some drivers stay out. Definitely those that pitted, I think, for fuel to top off during the last caution, I think they're going to stay out. Try to leapfrog track position. Those drivers being a Christian Eckes, who might have some speed. We know Caden Honeycutt was on that strategy as well. More on that in a little bit. Here's Tyler Ankrum following his big hit.
You like managing frustrations?
Day by day. I'm not going to repeat what I said after Texas, but same thought process. We had a pretty good weekend at North Wilkesboro, and we're planning on repeating it. I haven't seen the replay yet, but can't really tell much from that angle. Looks like definitely got moved, so gonna find out who that was, and that'll be the next one added to the list. So we're gonna head to the next race, St. Louis, I guess. I just can't do nothing. I can't do anything but thank Lion and Chevrolet for sticking with me. We've had really good trucks this season, but these past couple weeks haven't been very friendly to me.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Good news for Anchor. Came in 65 above. Just line had a little bit of breathing room there. We love having you in the booth, man. Great stuff, and all the best this weekend, okay? Yeah, Motor Speedway should have some pit stops.
All right, so might have some pit stops coming up. Not going to guarantee that a lot of trucks will pit here, but you never know. We ran several laps under green, but still, really, between the not even a full lap of green flag action on lap 67 to begin the stage, and then where we are at on that last green flag run, which was maybe 3 laps, if they even got to be huge here, and a difference maker to come in, take tires, mainly going to be for whether you want fuel or not. All these caution laps to begin this stage is going to allow those teams that pitted during the stage break to have more of a chance to making it to the end. And the teams that topped off during the first yellow of the stage, especially with the 8 caution laps we had, if they pitted with a couple laps to go before the green, they're definitely going to be in a much better spot, but only by a few green flag laps, which could be a few to make it to the end. You never know. We also don't know how many cautions we might get the rest of the way. The more the better, but then you get a little worried if you go past the scheduled distance And we have overtime, which we have seen at Charlotte in recent years in the Truck Series. And quite a few late race yellows. Last year's race, almost a carbon copy of the way this race has gone tonight, where the first two stages were caution free. Final stage was caution filled. And so far here tonight, caution filled in stage number 3. At least early, only 2 cautions so far, but a lot of caution laps. And only 3 or 4 green flag laps of the first 17 ran in stage 3 tonight at Charlotte. Up to 47 likes on the stream. Again, be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Coming up on 50 to go, under yellow for the 4th time tonight, second for incident. Second for incident in the final stage. Take an ad break. You're listening live on KRC to the Truck Series race at Charlotte. That guy in the Scott's commercial looks like. No, never mind. I take that back. I saw his face a little bit. He was more wrinkly than who I was about to say he was. So I'm not even going to say who it is. Make myself look like an idiot. Because after I saw his face a little closer to the camera in that last shot, it was nothing like him at all, actually.
Sure did. I think we only had about a half a dozen truck racetrack here. Corey Heim, he's got a picture. And you see Jack put it underneath the truck. It's not working. He has to go back to the wall to get another jack. How
Oh,
about the
man.
muscle done? It's more than 30 pounds, and he just running around there like it's nothing. Unfortunately, with all that lost time, Corey came out just about the last truck off of pit road. So he's going to have his work cut out for him. And there's a lot of strategy plays there. We saw earlier when Caden Honey came to pit road to get gas, he came and just got gas again, which just ensures that he's going to make it to the finish. He's one of the first trucks on pit road. Jake Garcia with Rich Lucius calling the shots. He did the same thing.
Those drivers had penalties earlier that had lost their track position, and that's really what encouraged them to get out of balance on strategy.
You know, Corey Haim's just seen the front of this field all night long, Phil, and now that he's back in the pack, that truck's going to handle differently. He's going to have a fast truck, we know that, but that's a lot of trucks to pass in a short period of time. The lowest he's been, I think, is second right in this race.
Yes. 7 trucks stayed out. 7th, Christian Eckes on tires, our race leader, Chase Purdy, Jamie.
Yes, they chose not to come to pit lane, and the reason being they feel like they're still about 12 laps short on fuel. And as long as we have another caution, they're going to be fine. He said, well, I just need you to go out there and just push as hard as you can at the beginning stages of this race. They feel like if we get another caution, everybody's going to come back to pit lane to get tires. So they're not worried about the strategy that they chose. They're going to take this track position for now, Adam.
Look at those drivers up there in the top 7. Mason Massey got a free pass. Same for Spencer Boyd.
Going to go another lap under caution here. And anybody looking to get a little bit better fuel mileage, this is a bonus. So how about Chase Purdy? He pitted on lap number 63. That means he would have to go, what's,
I think
71 laps?
Yeah, Jamie just reported that he's short.
Yeah. I got to believe he's short. Now, we've had a number of caution laps since they came down pit road.
Amanda?
Thad Moffitt has been medically cleared as well. And Thad, from your viewpoint, what happened?
Yeah, it just looked like the 18 got loose. I guess he got spun and went down the racetrack and then came back up, and it was too late. Stevie was yelling for me to stay up. Here, I'm watching the replay for the first time. Stevie was yelling at me to stay up, stay up, stay up. And then at the last second, I tried to get down, but just nowhere to go there. Yeah, it looks like he got spun getting into 3. I don't know if somebody tagged him or what, and then come back up across the racetrack. Yeah, just unfortunate. I hate it. Customers Bank was here with their crowd, and didn't want to end the night like this, but we'll move on to St. Louis next week.
Thank you.
Glad he's okay. Hard hit.
Brett Moffitt, a little quiet tonight. See if he can rally here late, just outside the top 10. He's 16, but Michael, 8th in line of those drivers that just came and got tires. That's really as good a position as they've been in all night when you look at strategy, track position, and all that.
Isn't it just like these truck crew chiefs teams to be able to figure out a way to use strategy to gain track position, to be able to have the best shot to get the win here in Charlotte? We've got them all over the board right now. You know, these teams up front here that did not take tires on this pit stop, you know, that opens up the playbook for them. If we get a caution with 20 or 20 laps to go, they'll have a set of tires to put on, where most of these teams will not. And I just want to give the viewers at home a little heads up and alert. This restart is going to be nuts because we got trucks that haven't been up front, right up front. Laps are winding down. The fast trucks are trapped behind these trucks. It's going to be out of hand.
Sunday on Fox, it's one of NASCAR's crown jewel events as we honor our nation's heroes with the sound of horsepower at the Coke 600. The pre-race kicks things off at 5:30 Eastern. Green flag flies at 6. It's Sunday on Fox. Practice qualifying happens tomorrow afternoon in FS1. Xfinity race here tomorrow as well. Live on Fox, our drivers only broadcast.
I'm going to say drivers only tomorrow. Logano will be taking over your slot, right?
I'm going to put my feet on it.
I want to see what if that race is anything like that practice session. We had cars all over the place. Interesting lines. It's going to be a crazy race for our drivers to call. Watch for 3 wide here when we get down to 1 and more than that. Watch for shoving, pushing, and another caution.
Hold your breath. Close your eyes. This restart going to be something to watch. Chase Purdy in control. 47 laps remaining at Charlotte.
Chase Purdy's beating Stephen Parsons at 75. He's in the slush.
Stewart Friesen out of line.
Stephenson, I can push talk trying to pass him. And look who's right there pouncing. Christian Eckes.
He's on those tires, and here he comes. 19 driving by Chase Purdy. Christian Eckes into the lead. Can he hang on?
From last to first.
And when he comes back around by the start-finish line, he will have done it again. He's led a lap at Charlotte. He's led a lap in every race this year. So impressive.
He sounded really confident, too, Alan, when we chatted with him. Race. Said he really liked his truck in practice. And it looks like he knew what he was talking about. Ben Rose trying to make his way by his teammate Connor Jones. It's a battle for the 5th spot. He's got that spot. Connor doing a nice job again, really fast at North Wilkesboro. There's Jake Garcia up on the outside of Daniel Dye. There's battles everywhere. Okay, make a should the 66. Connor Jones.
But day for Caden Honeycutt. The problems in practice, still manages to qualify inside the top 10. The violation on pit road. But they play a little strategy, and he's looking to get back inside the top 5.
Mossack down in the bottom of Tanner Gray, and here comes Majeski on the outside. I can't believe they survived that restart. There was a lot of action, but everybody kept it pointed straight. There's Corey Heim. You see him, the Safe Light truck. There he is, the black and red truck on the outside.
He's 21st.
Yeah, still outside the 720, but apparently
Grant Enfinger into the top 10.
look at Corey Heim go on the bottom, goes by Tanner Gray. Now he's going to grab that 13 of Jake Garcia.
Heim to 17.
Does he need a caution to get to first, Phil? Boy, it sure seems like he would. Really fast truck, but I think I'm with you on that.
No, Eckes not exactly pulling away from Chase Purdy. The advantage to the front, 0.8 of a second.
And their lap time's nearly identical, Adam.
There's the 19. He's passed 87 trucks tonight.
That's unbelievable. Stephen Parsons hanging in there after a nice restart. Been up high in 1 and 2 to try to look the lead. Got past, but hanging right on there in that number 75 in the 3rd spot. Yeah, that's the first time he's had any kind of track position all night. Doing a really nice job with a pump cells truck.
Running for a side, pair of top 10s this year for Stephen Parsons.
Great looking truck, too. Love the military salutes. Get Corey Heim go. Oh,
Wow.
His electric. Outside of the O2 of Massey.
He is on the move.
And a little hello to and lap down the back straightaway.
Now into the 11th spot, just outside the top 10 for Corey Heim. And next time he comes around, he'll be in the top 10. Might even be 7th. He's got 3 in front of him right there. He's going to just size up and get away.
Laps ago, you said, does he need a caution? And
Oh!
he's trying to work his way into the top
He is
10.
threading the needle.
Middle, he can go anywhere. His team
On the outside, one on the inside. That's a space of a half a lap.
time to ninth.
That's incredible. He's making it. He's saying it look easy. We know it isn't.
Ben Rhodes hanging around in the top 5. Christian Eckes leads. 3 laps to go. A whole lot going on late in Charlotte for the trucks.
Christian Eckes leads, but Corey Heim putting on a show after restarting back in the 27th place position. He is already up to 8th, and it has only been about 8 laps following the restart. As we restarted with 47 to go, we are down to 39 laps left now. We'll go through the full field running order for the last time in this race today, at least going through the full field. Again, Christian Eckes is your race leader. He's 0.7 of a second out ahead of Chase Purdy in 2nd. Stephen Parsons is 3rd, Stuart Friesen 4th, and Ben Rhodes is 5th. Caden Honeycutt 6th, Nick Sanchez 7th, Corey Hyman 8th, Connor Jones 9th, and Brett Moffitt rounds out the top 10 in 10th. Ty Majeski is now back in 11th place, Grant Enfinger 12th, Raja Karuth in 13th, Ty Dillon 14th, and Connor Mosack 15th. 16th is Brett Holmes, Tanner Gray 17th, Mason Massey in 18th, 19th for Daniel Dye, Taylor Gray 20th. Jack Wood 21st, Jake Garcia 22nd, Dean Thompson 23rd, Matt Mills 24th, Mason Maggio 25th. 26th for Bailey Curry, 27th for Spencer Boyd, Lawless Allen in, make that Timmy Hill now 28th, and Lawless Allen last truck on the lead lap at 29th. Lane Riggs is 30th, 1 lap down. Not sure exactly what happened to him, but he is not in the lead lap anymore. Memphis Villarreal is 31st, 32nd for Matt Crafton after getting into the wall. He's 9 laps down, still on the track. And 4 trucks of DNF tonight. Tyler Ankrum will finish 33rd, Thad Moffitt 34th, Keith McGee 35th, and Jeffrey Earhart last in 36th. 4 cautions, 2 for incident, both of those in the final stage. And the stage breaks at at lap 30 and lap 60 for stage 1 and stage 2 have brought out the 4 yellows. Current average race speed 109.5 miles per hour, just under an hour and a half from the drop of the green flag to where we currently run in this race. Fastest truck on the track is Corey Heim. Does he have enough time to get to the race leader, Christian Eckes? Will the tires hold up over the course of the long run? Will we get any more cautions? After a slow pit stop for Corey Heim, he went from the lead back to 27th on this restart. They had to get a jack change. Went the jack up the right side of the race truck. Jack had broke. That jack man had to go all the way back around to the left, grab a new jack from behind the pit wall, hustle back over to the right, so that's why he lost so much track position. He was basically the second to last truck on the lead lap when we went green, because we have 28 on the lead lap now, and he restarted again in 27th, but made his way up into 8th pretty quickly. He's less than 5 seconds off the lead. That last lap he ran was about 3/10 quicker than the leader, Christian Eckes, as he makes another pass for position on Ben Rhodes now for 7th. I'll clear up turn 2. Still 35 to go. Does Heim have enough time to get to the lead? We'll monitor that and more. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream if you haven't done so yet. Again, subscribe for more NASCAR content. You're listening live to the North Carolina Education Lottery 200 at Charlotte. The jack was... I see what you did there. Jeff Curry, thanks for tuning in. Went to the 600 in 2001. Fun time. All-Star Race was there that week before. Yeah, Charlotte's a fun city, too. A lot to do there, especially if you're a NASCAR fan. A lot of the team shops, obviously, in that area. The only one I had ever been to was Penske in Mooresville, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte. Obviously, most of them are in the suburbs, of Charlotte. But me being a Ryan Blaney fan, that's why I went to that. Got a diecast when I was there. I'm trying to think what diecast I got when I was there. One of the ones I have. It might have been his PPG car, I think, the 2019 PPG. That seems right to me, because I definitely got that in 2019. And I know I got the throwback scheme from 2018 at the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte. So I did get 2 die casts that week. I won from each, but wanted a piece of sheet metal from the car, but they didn't have one that I specifically wanted. I was trying to get a number with the number 12 on it, nor did I have the money at that time to buy it. This was 5 years ago already, so I've been back to Charlotte since, but the last time I went for the 600 in 2021, the race shops were closed to the general public because they were just starting to open things back up from COVID. So wasn't able to go there, unfortunately, for that. Stuart Friesen trying to get back-to-back top 10 finishes. He holds on in the 6th place position. Corey Heim has just passed him for that spot. 31 laps to go. Heim is now 4 seconds off the lead and is still a couple tenths a lap quicker than the race leader. And that was even with making a pass for position that lap. He is coming, but again, does he have enough time? This is going to be similar to the Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson finish we just had in the Busch race. I was like 4.3 seconds back with 52 to go, and I was just hauling the mail trying to catch up there. It took me to the last lap. We'll see if Heim can get there. Again, the big thing I'm wondering with Corey Heim is can the tires hold up over the course of the long run? Caden Honeycutt in 4th place, by the way, is not quite as quick as Corey Heim, but he's pretty quick, and he's only 1.6 seconds off the lead in 4th. So he's got a good shot to get to the front as well. If he starts to battle Christian Eckes, that'll only allow Heim to close in further and further and further. 29 laps to go in this race, and about a half a second difference between the top 2. That last lap, Chase Purdy was about 2 tenths quicker than the race leader, Christian Eckes. So everybody in the top 5, well, yeah, everybody in the top 5 that last lap, except for, of course, the race leader, was quicker than the race leader. Purdy gaining ground on the top side of the racetrack. Eckes staying down on the bottom of the track through 3 and 4 at least. That last time by, momentum on the front stretch headed down into turn 1, I'm sure, is up for Chase Purdy. I think the worst thing that could happen here for Corey Heim is Christian Eckes loses the lead quickly without much of a battle from Chase Purdy, because Purdy's lap times are closer to Heim's, although Heim is still quicker. But I don't think he'll be closing in at quite as quick of a rate if the 19 of Eckes isn't in the lead anymore. Nose-to-tail battle for 3rd at the start-finish line. Honeycutt to the inside. And also a pass for the lead going to be made by Chase Purdy in turns 1 and 2. Sails it off. Overdrives the corner as he has the slide job and a crossover by Eckes on the backstretch. Purdy chases the 19 down the track. Side drafting each other back and forth. Still door-to-door for the lead in turns 3 and 4. Slide job maneuver. Had the clearance initially. Eckes is going to get him back with the crossover at 3 and 4. Now a double crossover by Chase Purdy on the front stretch. 26 to go. The 77 and the 19 are going at it for the lead. Eckes that last lap led by 1/1000th of a second at the line. Purdy not going to slide clear through 1 and 2. He goes up the hill. Almost makes contact with the back of the 19. Eckes is clear off turn 2. Holds on. 25 to go this time by. Caden Honeycutt did make the pass for 3rd on Stephen Parsons. And don't look now, but Corey Heim is only 2.5 seconds off the lead. And Purdy, although he got to the lead initially, couldn't hold on. That was the big time saver, I think, for Corey Heim, who is still in 5th place but is charging hard. And the longer Purdy waits, Caden Honeycutt's going to be there before long as well. Honeycutt now just 7 tenths of a second off the lead. The top 3 within 7 tenths of a second of each other. Late going at Charlotte, and this is even after a semi-long green flag run. It has been about 22 laps into this green flag run so far. Tying the second longest of the day, which would have been stage 2. From the race start after the stage 1 break to the, of course, stage 2 yellow at lap 60. And the longest green flag run we've had was 30 laps, so if it goes green to the end, this will be the longest green flag run of the race. We'll really get to see who's got the best long run speed, which I believe is Corey Heim. I don't think we got any question there. It's just going to be, can Heim have enough time to get out to the front of the field quick enough? Caden Honeycutt is going for that 2nd place position on Chase Purdy. He's got to run into turns 1 and 2 down to the bottom of the racetrack. Purdy's going to carry the momentum off the high side and to try to stay in front of him. And off the exit of turn 2, he is going to be able to do so. 23 to go. Remember, Chase Purdy's probably got less fuel in his truck compared to everybody else if fuel becomes an issue towards the end of this race. Again, that is if fuel becomes an issue. Right now, though, we stay green, and these guys are not saving anything. They're running as hard as they can. Corey Heim's losing some time to the top 4. I believe his tires are starting to fall off. He got to 5th place. He got to within 2.5 seconds of the lead. That last lap, he was a couple tenths slower than the leaders. And that's even with this hard battle going on. Maybe he's trying to save fuel where the rest are not. I mean, that could be. He's got a big gap between himself and Stuart Friesen. It's only 2.5 seconds back, though. You'd hate to have to save now, but maybe the team's telling him he's short. And that was even after a lengthy pit stop for him, so if he's short, you'd have to imagine everybody else is going to be short. Heim is stuck right behind Stephen Parsons right now as well. That last lap, Corey Heim fell back even further. Now he's 3 seconds off the lead. 20 laps to go. Battle for the win continues between the three of Eckes, Purdy, and Honeycutt. And for Purdy and Honeycutt, they're looking for their first career wins. And a playoff spot on the line for Chase Purdy. Honeycutt not running full-time in the Truck Series, so his win would not account for a playoff spot. As close to the wall without touching it as possible, it seemed like, through the middle of 3 and 4 that last time by for Chase Purdy. He's giving it all he's got. Looking to the bottom of the racetrack again. Through turns 1 and 2. Slides up the hill. Almost gets into the left rear corner panel of Eckes. Remember, it was Honeycutt and Eckes got in a spin in turn 2 after tangling in practice earlier today on a very similar slide job maneuver from Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt dives to the inside of 3 and 4 underneath Purdy. He's not going to be able to make the pass. Side-by-side commercial break on FS1. 18 laps to go in the race. Currently, Christian Eckes still leads. Chase Purdy in second at the line, and a half second back at third is Caden Honeycutt. Corey Heim is now up to 4th as he just passed Stephen Parsons a lap or 2 ago. Heim is now in 4th. Stephen Parsons back to 5th. Raja Caruth out of nowhere up to 6th. Good run for him. Stuart Friesen's in 7th. Ty Majeski in 8th. Nick Sanchez in the top 10 for the first time tonight, 9th. Tanner Gray rounds out the top 10 after starting on the pole in 10th. That is the top 10. With, again, 17 to go. So leaders crossed the line that last time. I would like to think Corey Heim was saving a little bit of gas. It's tough to tell for sure. It's a mixture of either he was saving gas or his tires are spent. He had to go from 27th to 4th during this green flag run. And again, he got to within 2.5 seconds of the lead, but now he's 3.7 seconds back. And even with the top 3 battling as hard as they are right now with each other, the 11's got nothing for him anymore. We get another caution. I'd imagine most of these teams will pit. Seen a lot of fall off, about 2 seconds as of this point in the run. Though it depends how many more laps we have left following a yellow. Purdy, I believe, just got against the wall in turns 1 and 2. Honeycutt's easily going to move into second. Chase Purdy up against the wall and has lost a lot of ground. Drops to the bottom of the track to 3 and 4. He was riding near the wall for quite some time. 16 laps to go. Grant Enfinger making a move on the inside of 3 and 4. That passes to move him to 10th past Tanner Gray. Caution flag is out with 15 to go. Putting a halt to the longest green flag run of the day at 32 laps. Chase Purdy has a right front tire down after he got the wall a couple laps ago. The tire is flat, and now the question is to pit or not to pit for tires in the late going of this race.
Got into the wall, perhaps to breathe there, and that produces our 5th caution of the night.
He was running this line. He was really making good ground, but just too high.
There, we're screaming as this. Anyway, damage, bam, blows that right front tire. news for Christian Eckes because you get the yellow that allowed you to save a little fuel. But now you're going to be restarting up front with some of the best. We know how strong the 45 has been tonight. Caden Honeycutt. Corey Heim is right back in the mix. He was 3.5 seconds back, was going to have a hard time getting there, it appeared, if we stay green.
There's a lot. Some of these teams have tires.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Another little wrinkle.
Yeah.
And look at these guys. They're either going to get those tires or they're faking. Yeah. 26 trucks still on the lead lap right now.
Just wonder about giving up the track position here. You're going to have inside of 10 laps to go because of all these, we talk about all the laps on the trucks on the lead lap. That's going to be a lot to overcome.
I mean, I think if there's 12, 14 trucks in the lead lap, that's different, but I'm not sure you want to give up that lead. I mean, Christian X is not going to come and give up that lead. No way. No way. And we know that Honeycutt, doesn't need any fuel. He's got 8 extra laps of fuel over Christian Eckes.
It's like
Corey Heim, same situation.
It's like Bailey Curry might be in the spot to get the free pass. Just about done at Charlotte, and the final race of this 5-race stretch next weekend, Saturday afternoon, St. Louis. Worldwide Technology playing host to the Craftsman Truck Series. Or B, yeah. The more challenging tracks on the schedule.
I mean, both ends completely different.
Rest day at 1 o'clock, FS1 over to Fox for the race. 19 radio.
About 9 to go, probably. When we take the
Listening to the radio chatter, I think is what Christian was referring to.
pit road is open. That's why some people say,
I think you got to pit here. Too much fall off. 9 to go is going to be a lot of time. We saw Corey Heim go from 27th to 3rd before his tires faded.
No doubt.
Oh,
Sonny, here comes. Boy, this is going to get interesting.
only 5 or 6 stayed out.
they brought with them.
Yes.
Wasn't many that stayed out.
The 52 decided to take 4 new tires for Stuart Breeze. And remember, he said, we are working on our pit stops. We are trying to gain some momentum. Once it finished, in their last result, which was 10th, Amanda. Take a look at the 45 who also decided to come as well. He's just battling a little bit of a tight truck tonight, but it was the 11 of Freeheim that said, he's not coming in unless the 45 comes in. It will be scrubbed tires for Corey Heim and light fuel. A little bit of an issue there for him. I'll let you guys take it.
Big issues for the 25 of Honeycutt. Looks like the air wrench broke over on the right rear.
Man, a lot of pit issues for the 45 and the 11 today, especially the 45.
Pit road. Watch the rear changer. He gets the other one up. Realizes he has an issue. His air gun came unhooked, or the hose broke. And there they sit.
Wow.
Taking every opportunity for him to win this race with one of the best, at least 2 or 3 trucks here. He's out now.
And Bill Gould made that call.
Yeah, he definitely had the second or third best truck today, I think.
It's interesting. On this restart again, jumbled up things are going to be this late in the race. Because it's Stephen Parsons. Restart. See an issue? Lug nuts falling off the left rear. Oh, and he's spinning the tire.
Time was going to go.
Yeah. I mean, that lug nut was not on there. I'm not sure he got it on there yet.
Wow, drama late here at Charlotte. That was wow looking. Second time we've seen a bobble on a pit stop for Corey Heim. saw one missing, and
Hopefully that's it.
tried the best he could to get that one back on, but wasn't able to do so.
Yeah, that's plenty of alertness to hold that wheel.
It'll be a fine,
That
but
will result in a penalty.
yeah,
for the race.
yeah. It'll be a fine, but
But that'll be fine as far as
he'll have a fine, but he'll be fine, if that makes sense.
Four will hold it for sure in this short of a run, and Oscar was not quite as bad as
Good thing it's not the Cup Series and they only have one lug.
38 lane.
Otherwise, he'd definitely have to come back.
Well, he had really fast.
Or he might not even have even made it to the end of pit road.
And the 75 truck, obviously, those trucks stay on the racetrack. And remember, this is the opening race for the Trill. An extra challenge. Right. $50,000 on the line for the winner tonight. I think it's back. In action, we kick things off 2:30 Eastern Time as the DC Defenders take on the Memphis Showboats. Michigan battles Houston. Back to the game in your area. It's only on Fox. The Showboat. Only the top 6 trucks
did not come down pit road on this caution. We're getting ready to have the choose older tires for those 6 trucks that haven't been to pit road.
I'm a race fan, and this is going to be fun to watch. See who goes where on the choose. Atkins to the bottom, Steppen to the top. They split it up.
Raja goes to the bottom. Majewski goes behind Steppen on the outside.
We know some of these guys put on scuff tires. Some of them put on new tires. And some of them selected to stay out. About as differing strategies as you could possibly ask for.
We know all of that about the strategy and the tires. We also know it's going to be incredibly aggressive when we go back to the green flag.
I mean, was that the last caution flag?
Probably not. Probably not. But I got my eye on 11 again. He got those tires on there. And man, we saw how fast he was on those stickers last time.
He's got 9 laps. He needs as many green flag laps as possible here. He's going to make it work.
Tires going 152 at Stuart Friesen, so we know he's got new ones.
Big would it be for him when Blade lock himself into the playoffs?
See, the problem is you have so many guys on the offense here, and again, the top 6 will be on defense, as they have all stayed out. 7th on back will have fresh tires. Some on scuffs. We'll see how this is going to pan out. 9 to go in the restart. Christian Eckes inside of row 1. Stephen Parsons on the outside of row 1. Eckes trying to get his 3rd win of the year to match Heim. Heim has 4 fresh Goodyears back at 11th. He's had the fastest truck in the field today. Who will make it through the drivers on the old tires? After the longest green flag run of the day, a lot of laps on those old tires. Green flag back in the air. Oh, big wheel spin on the outside here. That's going to work for Heim. Heim restarted on the inside of row 1, and he's going to leapfrog about 4 or 5 positions before they get into the first turn. 3 by 3 from about 3rd on back. Corey Heim is going to come out of turn 2 in the 5th place position, 6th place position inside. Restarted 11th. And again, he's got fresh tires and a lot of drivers on old tires in front of him. Heim's been putting on a show so far today. And Nick Sanchez, by the way, is up to 2nd off the exit of turn 4. He goes to the inside of the race leader. Side by side for the lead. Eckes trying to hold on for all he's got. He almost turns Sanchez as Sanchez comes across his front bumper into the first turn and to the lead. Stuart Friesen's going to get to 2nd, and Heim will get to 3rd on Eckes down the backstretch. Nick Sanchez has not won since the season opener at Daytona. Does he have anything? Corey Heim was side drafted by Christian Eckes down the backstretch. Lost a lot of ground there. Off the exit of turn 4, still racing on, staying green. 7 to go yet. A lot of jockeying for position. Some of those trucks at the tail end of those that did not pit are just trying to get out of harm's way, really, with all the drivers on fresh tires around him. Heim is now to 2nd off turn 2 as he gets by Stuart Friesen. 1 to go, and that's Nick Sanchez. He's got plenty of time to get there. How defensive is Nick Sanchez going to be, though, when Heim tries to make the move? In the middle of turns 1 and 2, Heim looking to the middle of the upper groove. Both trucks driving it in deep. This could be the best finish of the year for Friesen. Just got his first top 10 of the season last week, and now he's 3rd with just 6 to go. Heim to the outside of the racetrack through turns 1 and 2. Not all the way near the wall necessarily, but wider in that groove than what Nick Sanchez was in front of him. Eckes has already fallen, from the lead back to 7th. On this restart, 5 to go this time by. Heim looked like he overdrove it through 3 and 4 just a little bit as he went wide, and Sanchez actually picks up a couple truck lengths on the front stretch. Sanchez doing well for himself right now. 3 wide and 1 truck going through the turf. It looked like Brett Moffitt trying to make a pass on the turf there. All those drivers are battling right around 20th. And we got a spinner off turn 2, but we stay green. It's Tanner Gray. Big save for him. He's going to lose a lot of positions down the backstretch. Corey Heim within about 2 to 3 truck lengths again as he seems to be overdriving turns 3 and 4. It's the second lap in a row. He's gone wide, getting tight off the exit of the corner in the wake of the dirty air behind Sanchez. Corey Heim in the second place position goes to the bottom of the track. Sanchez is going to give that to him. Nick Sanchez goes to the top. A little bit of ground gain that time for Corey Heim. Now trying to draft down the backstretch to minimize the amount of time maybe lost on the straightaway itself as he ran obviously much lower that last corner than the race leader. Caden Honeycutt from deep in the field, by the way, has made his way up near the top 10 on the restart. Currently scored 13th. For having yet another pit road blunder. Faulty equipment for him on that last stop. Battle for the win between Nick Sanchez and Corey Heim at the front of the field. Christian Eckes is in danger of falling out of the top 10 if the 7 is able to get around him. That battle is actually for 9th between the 19 and the 7. 2 to go this time by at the line. Corey Heim has still not gotten any closer to Nick Sanchez. Sanchez has done a great job. He was the first to get to the lead of those that pitted for fresh tires. Corey Heim was about 3rd. Then he got by Friesen and just hasn't been able to get within 2 to 3 truck lengths as he continues to overdrive 3 and 4 specifically. 1 and 2, he seems to be maybe a little bit better than Sanchez. But Sanchez gained so much ground through 3 and 4. Corey Heim trying to get it to stick again. Bottom of the racetrack, staying steady. Didn't lose as much time that time around, but Nick Sanchez has done a great job. A 5 truck length lead nearly at the line. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Final lap of the race. Heim goes to the top through turns 1 and 2. He's digging. He might be a little bit too far back, but he's going to give it all he's got into turns 3 and 4. He's about 3 truck lengths off the lead, if not maybe more. Goes to the middle to upper groove again. Nick Sanchez is going to hold on, and Sanchez is going to win the race. Who saw that coming? Hadn't been in the top 10 most of the night. Pit strategy and a great restart gets Nick Sanchez to victory lane for the 2nd time this Truck Series season. Corey Heim with a 2nd place run. Stuart Friesen 3rd. Grant Enfinger 4th. Matt Mills rounds out the top 5. Great run for him. Ben Rhodes 6th, Jake Garcia 7th, Caden Honeycutt 8th, Connor Mosack 9th, Dean Thompson rounds out the top 10. An 11th place finish for Christian Eckes, Connor Jones 12th, Taylor Gray 13th, Chase Purdy 14th, 15th for Brett Holmes, Brett Moffitt 16th, Roger Cruz 17th, Tanner Gray 18th, 19th was Mason Massey, and Daniel Dye 20th. Spencer Boyd 21st, Jack Wood 22nd, Timmy Hill 23rd, Ty Majeski 24th, Ty Dillon 25th, Stephen Parsons 26th, Bailey Curry 27th, 28th was Mason Maggio. He was the last truck to finish on the lead lap. First truck 1 lap down, and 29th was Lane Riggs. Memphis Villarreal 30th, 3 laps down, 14 laps down for Lawless Allen, and 31st. Matt Crafton 32nd, 15 laps down. And everybody from 33rd on back DNF tonight. 33rd place finish for Tyler Ankrum. Dad Moffitt 34th, Keith McGee 35th, Jeffrey Earnhardt 36th. So 4 DNFs in total. Again, 28 trucks finish on the lead lap. 1 hour, 45 minutes, 39 seconds. Total time on this race finished under the regulation length of 134 laps and 200 miles. Margin of victory, half a second between your race winner, Nick Sanchez, and 2nd place, Corey Heim. Average race speed of 114.010 miles per hour. Sanchez led just 9 laps today. It was the final 9 laps, all under green. 72 laps led, 2 different times for Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner Corey Heim. 37 laps led for Christian Eckes, all in the final stage. 5 laps for Chase Purdy. The 15 truck of Tanner Gray led for 11 from the pole. 5 different drivers led for 1 lap, 8 lead changes. Amongst those 5 drivers, 5 cautions total in the race as well, 3 for incident, all in the final stage. Here's your race winner, Nick Sanchez.
Sucks. What can I say more about this team? I mean, we knew it. Did not affect us. We went to work. We put ourselves in position. So this is for Chris Showalter, my car chief. Birthday today, 700th start. So this is for him, and it's great to get number 2.
For Joey, I know you dedicated this race win to him, but for you, you're going to go home with a $50,000 check for the Triple Chuck Challenge victory today. What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. Probably put it in the savings. I totally forgot about that. So yeah, added bonus. Sweet. Well,
Congratulations.
He's gonna put it in a savings account. That's very mature. I love that. Amanda?
And there are tears in the eyes of the guy that Nick Sanchez just dedicated the race win to. 700 races. Chris, where will this one rank?
You just popped to number 1. No, but it's a long battle, you know. And it's about people, and I love this group of people. You know, I'll do anything for this group of people. Thank you.
Congratulations.
It doesn't mean much to people. It doesn't. Wow. You just love racers, and that's a racer right there. Been here for every truck race, and just does a great job when he's doing his job, and you can tell the passion and the love that he has for his job and his profession, and I'm so glad we get to say hi to Chris and congratulate him. And there's so many of those guys out there, real, just like Chris, that just put their hearts on this sport.
He's been here for all 700 races. His team wins, and it's his birthday. I mean, does it get any better than that?
At $50,000.
Yeah, that's right. Back down to Jamie.
Well, Corey Heim led 72 laps in the race today, and you've had to drive through the field. But it was quite a show that you were able to put on. Not enough right there at the end. What could you have done different?
Yeah, I mean, obviously an eventful day for us. Just felt like I got away from us on separate occasions there. I mean, we had control of the race, and then as soon as you don't, you're just victim to the leader, and they can control the air, and Nick did a great job at, just blocking my air the best he could. So props to him. He did a great job. Felt like we had the best truck by a long shot. Just when you're behind the leader, you can't do much. But I feel like we were able to get through traffic so well, and I'm glad I could make it entertaining at least. But it doesn't really matter for us to finish second. But he takes a check on garage for this bullet. I feel like we were so good today. Safe play to win racing. Just super disappointed, to say the least.
Lead 72 laps, wins both stages. And while he's disappointed finishing second, because no doubt benchmark is to win every week, they went a long way in helping themselves with the playoff points. And when you look at those regular season standings, because he and Christian Eckes have been going back and forth in that category. So even if he doesn't have the big picture tonight with the trophy, he goes a long way in helping himself.
Yeah, Corey Heim does leave out of here with the points lead. Again, 20-0 in the stages alone for Corey Heim over Christian Eckes. In the race finishing position, he gets another 9 points. So 29 points. Corey Heim outscored Eckes today. He came in -4. So my math serves me correctly. It'll be a 25-point lead for Corey Heim entering next week at Gateway. So Truck Series will be racing next week. It will be a triple header next week again with the Truck Xfinity Cup Series. It'll be a Truck Xfinity Saturday doubleheader on the channel. Now that will be at 2 separate racetracks. So first standalone event for the Xfinity Series at Portland on the West Coast, while the Trucks and Cup will be at Gateway International in St. Louis. That is going to wrap up tonight's stream. We've already gone through the finishing order. You got to hear from a couple of the top finishers in this one. And congratulations again to Nick Sanchez winning the truck race. And I picked Corey Heim. The chat picked Corey Heim collectively in the poll that we had earlier. And Corey Heim came just close in second. By far had the fastest truck, but Nick Sanchez got to the field the quickest on that final restart with the 4 fresh tires. Had fast pit stops all night by his pit crew. And kept chipping away. He ran outside the top 10 for pretty much the entirety of the first 2 stages. Then in that final stage, he got up to about 7th, 8th place. So that way, by the time the top 6 had stayed out, he was one of the first drivers of those on 4 fresh tires. And he got out ahead of Corey Heim. Credit to the pit crew, credit to the driver there at the end for holding on. Heim was coming on strong there those final 5-6 laps of the race. Nick Sanchez did a great job not letting him get really within a couple truck lengths. So Nick Sanchez again with the win. Congratulations there. Our start time for tomorrow's streams and the rest of the weekend look like this. We will be live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for tomorrow's NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Charlotte. NASCAR Cup qualifying and practice will be back-to-back at 5 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow as well on the channel. So 1 p.m. for the Xfinity race, 5 p.m. both Eastern Times, 5 p.m. for practice qualifying for the Coke 600. Sunday's doubleheader on the channel will begin at 12:30 Eastern in the afternoon with the Indianapolis 500 coverage, and our Coke 600 NASCAR Cup Series race coverage on Sunday night will begin at 5:30 Eastern Time. Appreciate it, everybody. I'll see you. We got 4 more live commentary streams this weekend, 1 in the books. Appreciate everybody tuning in on this late Friday night. Hope to see you back and better than ever for our doubleheaders tomorrow and Sunday.